Media. Brad, just talk about Jaylen Brown's performance and what impressed you the most about him tonight.
Obviously really shot the ball well. Didn't force anything that wasn't there. I mean, the only shot he missed was that end of the shot clock. Great challenge by Miles Turner in front of our bench. And then obviously rebounded, and he's got to guard Bogdanovich, which is a heck of a task. So thought he played a good game.
Sherrod Blakely, NBC Sports Boston. Coach, for the second straight game at the start of the fourth quarter, with Kyrie on the bench, you guys were able to really cut into whatever deficit or at least get some traction. How important has it been for that second unit, particularly at the start of the fourth, to really kind of get into a flow and position you guys for some of those plays we're seeing down the stretch?
Yeah, and I thought we actually played better than we scored in those moments. I thought we got some great looks that we missed. Moving the ball and kicking it out and making the right play and those type of things. But those guys have played in a lot of big games. And, we got a lot of faith in them. And, we're trying to rotate Al back in with that group. Doesn't always happen that way, depending on how the first quarter of that stint went a little long. But we certainly are capable. And Terry's done a really good job of kind of organizing us and getting us in the right spots. And then everybody's made the right plays. Hopefully we shoot it a little bit better on those open ones in those moments.
Coach John Herrick, WIBC Radio in Indianapolis. In the second quarter, they make a big run, take a 2-point lead, but in the third quarter, you hold them to 12 points. What do you guys think allowed you to play a much better third quarter to kind of take control of the game again?
Well, I think they'll go back and look at it. We'll go back and look at it. I don't know if it was as good a defense as they just missed some open shots, probably. That's one of the things you just got to keep going in these games. I mean, whatever we were up in the first half doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Those leads dissipate so quickly. You just have to keep playing the next play, and we try to challenge them as well as we can. But they run good stuff and they run it hard, and so they were open on some of those misses, and we defended them well on some of the others.
Coach, back left, just building off of what you just said, but kind of a strange game. You grab a big lead early, they come back and take a lead, and the crowd is into it. Just what does it do for a team, and what type of mettle does it build when you can battle against that adversity and grab a win on the road in the postseason like you did tonight?
It's a long game, like I said, and the one thing that, we do have some experience on the road. We weren't great last year, and we've talked about that a lot. We weren't great in game threes, but we were ready to play this one. And, they were also ready, and we made a bunch of shots and felt better about ourselves than we were probably playing in the first quarter. And then, they came back and took the lead. The crowd was awesome, as you would expect. And, at that point in time, you just hit singles until the end. And that's what we tried to do. And then, I thought Kyrie made enormous plays late. Al made some big shots. Gordon's tip in. Everybody contributed. Jason Tatum made some big plays. Everybody contributed.
Brad, Gary Washington, Boston Globe. You've been hard on your defense this year. You haven't been as pleased and said it's not as good as the numbers have shown, but
right.
You've won these 3 games essentially with defense. What have you guys done defensively, and how, proud of you that of you are in the defense that they've been able to show up for 3 games?
Yeah, I hate to pat our defense on the back. That's when you let go of the rope, and I think we just have to keep on at it. And a few weeks ago, when we had the extra day and we had a chance to practice during the regular season before we played the Pacers in Boston the first time, I thought we had a really good day of just going back to basics. And ever since then, we've tried to do basics in every single practice. We get the chance to practice more now, and we're doing them a little bit better. Sometimes those things wane throughout the course of a long regular season when you can't practice. So it's been good to get back on the court and kind of get those daily vitamins and be a little bit better as a group. And I think, our first group generally really makes it hard to score, and that sets a tone for the game.
Brad, John Corrales, MassLive.com, that Kyrie and Al pick and roll that you went to over and over again down the stretch, how good a feeling is it to know that when push comes to shove, you can always just rely on that, and Kyrie can just take the ball so deep into the paint and still give it up and find Al so wide open?
Yeah, they really played it well. Listen, the Pacers have given us fits with their pick and roll defense because they switched a ton in the first 2 games. They blitzed right out of the gate, first play of the game against Baines. Miles Turner jumped Kyrie They mixed in blitzes the rest of the game. They did different things, but the bigs didn't switch quite as much. They switched some, but not quite as much. And so then, you know, Al has a chance to play in those seams and in popping, but you know, those two are really good players, and so it's best thing to do in that moment is keep it simple, figure out what the defense is doing and react to it. We've seen a lot over the last 85 games about how they react to Al and Kyrie, and then a guard in Kyrie. But Kyrie some of the shots he hit, you know, he had the driving layup, which was a good move, but then the little floating shot he hit was just a joke. He's ridiculous.
Coach, you touched on a while ago about just not letting go of the rope based on the way you guys have been playing. You have a chance to close this thing out. What's the key to not being comfortable with your status right now as a team?
Well, I think one of the things this team should know better than any team maybe I've been on through the regular season is each week can change how you feel. So, like, let's just hit singles and try to win the next game one possession at a time. You're not going to win it in the first quarter. You're not going to win it, you know, in the second. You have to keep doing it over and over, and that's what's hard about the playoffs. And this team is this Indiana team plays with tremendous character and integrity. Like, they play the game the way the game's supposed to be played. So we know that to win a series against them, you're going to have to beat them in a game, and beating them in a game is a monster. And so we have to be ready to compete at the highest level again and play better than we did tonight.
Brad, what different did you see out of Jaylen Brown tonight, maybe than the first two games in Boston?
Not much. I mean, he got 9 attempts and he made some, right? So I think that ultimately sometimes we overreact to makes, but he's been great on all 3 games defensively. And then, you know, I thought he made the pass of the game the other night, and then today it was his turn to get a few more shots. And you know, we just have to keep moving it and finding the next right guy. And if that means you get 7 open ones one night and none the next, you got to move it till we find the right one. And so that's the encouraging part, not necessarily how many shots go down, but just finding the right ones. Thanks.